I'm Rob.
I'm Dave.
And I'm Mr. Sink. And welcome to the Mr. Sink Show, where we show you how to improve your home.
On today's show, a full garden makeover, top to bottom, all brand new.
Hang on, Rob. You promised a surprise.
I did, and we're going to say hello to a special guest.
Hello, hello. I know who we have as a surprise.
We'll save that for later.
Well, let's get started.
Let's go.
Okay, we're on site now. We're going to go inside, speak to Toni, the owner, and see what she wants to do with her garden.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go. Hello.
Hello.
Hello,
how are
Toni.
you?
How are you?
Thank you for coming.
No problem. Pleased to meet you.
So this is very old and tired.
Okay.
And I just find it very unattractive. It brings the whole look of the house down, and I just want to revamp it and have some interest, not to mention add property value.
Okay.
But I just want a lift, and so when I drive home, I think, you know, that's what I want.
We have the
Do you think
perfect
you can do
person
that?
to help you. 1 second. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Chris.
Hi, how you going?
I'm doing very well.
G'day.
How are you?
Hi.
And this is Toni, the homeowner.
Hi.
How you going?
Can you please help me fix my garden?
Looks pretty tough, but we'll see what we can do.
Please help me.
Yeah. Now, what's the problem with the garden?
Well, it's very old and tired, and it wasn't put together with any thought or planning, and this is the result.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of Melbourne gardens where people just go to the shop, they see a plant they like, they buy it, they get another one, another one, and before you know it's full and there's no real style.
And that's exactly what happened here.
What I can see here is that you've got a beautiful red weeping maple up there, which is a fabulous focal point, but the rest of it, none of it's pulling its weight. None of
know.
it's really looking any good. I think we've got to cut the lot out.
I would be
Except for the
very
maple.
happy with that because I love the maple. That's the only plant in this garden that I like anymore.
Yeah, and I think the rest of it goes, and then we plant it. And what we do is we use a bit more modern stuff. We soften the look of the house, get a bit of style in it, get a bit of a theme going. Like, not too many different sorts of plants. I'd imagine we'd only use 4 or 5 different sorts of plants.
Yeah. Perfect.
And get some more different colours into it. Get
Yeah.
some reds, get
I'd
some
like
silver.
a lift of colour.
Yeah, yeah. So we get some nice and get some really nice contrast and some different textures into it.
Sounds beautiful. Please begin.
We're away.
Okay, Chris, looks like we've got a big job happening here. So, what do we do first?
Well, the first thing is to cut out all the plants that we don't want, and then
Okay.
grind the stumps and roots out so that we can get digging and get planting.
Okay.
And then we're gonna add some good soil, and mix up the soil, dig it over really nicely, and then we're gonna plant it up.
Okay, well, let's get started.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. Let's get this chainsaw going and get everything offset for the maple. Okay.
Yep.
No worries.
Oh, the garden looks bare now.
It looks buggered, doesn't it? Yeah.
It looks naked.
Yeah, it does. But well, that's the first step, and now all we've got to do is grind out the stumps, and we'll grind right down and get the roots out. And the other good thing about using a stump grinder is it's going to make it a little bit easier to dig because the soil here is pretty hard.
Well, we're in front of this mess now, and it doesn't look like we're going to finish this in one day. I think this is a mission impossible.
Well, Chris reckons we're going to finish it in the one day.
I don't think so. Have
agree with
all
Rob.
of this. This is a lot of work.
You want to make a bet he finishes in one day?
No. Yeah, all right.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
I bet if he finishes it in the one day.
He's not going to finish in one
He's
day.
gonna
No
finish.
way.
Okay, if he finishes in one day, you got to wear that pink tutu.
Deal.
Get that?
the bet.
Got it.
I like the bet.
Okay, well, what's this big machine here?
Yeah, it's not a big machine, but it's a stump grinder.
Okay,
It's a Toro stump grinder, 26 horsepower, and
okay.
it'll take a lot of small to medium stumps out quite quickly.
Oh, so this actually, cuts the stump, pulls it out?
Grinds the stump into small pieces. We're just left with a bit of chip bark.
Okay, well, it looks pretty big and complicated. Well, we'll watch you work.
Okay.
Okay.
Have you noticed? Safety first. Do the helmets.
Goggles, everything. Safety first.
Well, I'm having a look at this machine, and I can't believe that bolts and nuts are actually ripping up the stumps. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, these are actually what they call carbide tungsten teeth. This is your cutting edge here, and it just all works on the momentum and the weight.
Wow. Oh, I was expecting like a really sharp blade, but...
No, it's not sharp at all.
And what can this cut? Oh,
Well, it's designed to cut timber only, stumps, but it will damage your concrete and your fence.
what about like big, massive red gum stumps like this?
Yep, not a problem.
Oh, wow.
So, Chris, can you take us through some of these plants and tell us a bit about them?
Okay, yeah, now what I've done is I'm to make it stylish, I'm keeping it very, very simple. So that's the first thing. Now, as our main trees, so that what made that house at the front there lack class is that you need to have a classy looking house. You've got to have trees that come up above the house. Now you don't want monster trees. What we're going to be using is a special sort of birch called a fastigiate birch. This birch is not going to be wide or broad. It's going to be very, very narrow, and we're using 6 of these at the front there, and that'll give the whole thing a bit of height.
Okay.
Then as a main focal point, we're using 3 of these. These are sago palms, Japanese sago palms, and they're a type of... Often you buy a palm tree and you put it in, it looks real cute, and 5 years later you hire some bloke to come down and chainsaw it down for you because it's turned into a monster. So this palm here is already probably 8 or 9 years old.
Okay, so it won't grow any bigger than that?
It's going to be the next 20 years it'll be small.
Oh, good.
But they're a lovely symmetrical plant. They make a beautiful focal point, and so 3 of those will sort of star. That'll be that'll really make the garden happen. And then
You got the spring onions here.
yeah. Now, what it is, these are called chalk sticks. They're a type of succulent, and they're great as a ground cover. They give you a lovely silver effect. And around each of the birches, we're going to put a great big patch of, and I brought cuttings in because it would have cost hundreds of dollars to do it any other way. Because I actually worked out that I think I need 220 of them to do the job.
Okay.
So
And they grow very quickly, do they?
yeah, they'll grow quickly. No, what's great is that they're nice and bright and silver, and they don't grow tall or big. I wanted something sort of nice and short to go underneath these ones here and underneath the birches and not dominate. And then
Then you got the black cabbage.
yeah, well, we're going to use these. We're going to sprinkle a few of these in amongst our chalk sticks, and we've got a lovely contrast there. And this is black mondo grass, and what's useful about this is not going to get too big. It's small, and it's going to be black, and it's going to stand out. And I think sometimes people look at it and they put way too many of them. Like a real lot of black in the landscape isn't good, but a little bit of black's quite exciting. So
And they're pretty hardy too. They last a long time.
Yes, yeah, very, very hardy, very easy to grow. Then the other main plant that we're using is this one here. It's called a golf ball.
Okay.
And anyway, the people who grow it, they describe it as the plant that trims itself. So it doesn't really trim itself, but what it does, it stays a lovely neat ball. It doesn't sprawl and grow everywhere like a lot of
And
it
you can
does.
shape that if you want to.
You could shape it, but really without the reason Toni doesn't want too much maintenance here. So this one here we're using, and it'll almost never need trimming. It'll grow 80 centimeters tall, 80 centimeters wide, and we'll be using these all down the side. And around through the garden there, just as a bit of a filler upper, and it's a lovely bright green. It's nice and neat, and it's very, very low maintenance. Then to make that more exciting, to sort of fire off that, we're using these. I love these. These are called Lauropetalums. Now your Lauropetalum's evergreen, and it has this lovely purpley red foliage, pretty little pink flowers.
Are those flowers all year round as well?
You have a tremendous show in spring and then the odd one for the rest of the year. But these ones here, when you put them next to the golf ball, I'll put one next to a golf ball. When you put them next to the golf ball, you've got a lovely bit of contrast.
Oh wow, look at that.
And that combines, so your black mondo, your Lauropetalum, your golf ball, and your chalk stick is going to combine and make some lovely colours. And then that's your focal point, and your fastigiate birch is your height.
Good. I'm excited now. It's going to look good.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris, what are we doing now?
Right, okay, what needs to happen now is the ground's a bit hard. And before we start adding soil, so we don't just get a layer, what we're going to do is turn this whole garden bed, turn over basically a shovelful deep like this. And then, once we've got into it a bit like that, then we'll be ready to add our new soil and turn it one more time and she's ready to plant.
Okay. Well, I'll give you a hand.
Great.
Hey, Mr. Sink, got a bit of sweaty. You got a bit of sweat there, man.
Hey,
What are you trying to work hard, eh?
I'm going to make sure I win that bet.
No, as you can see, I'm working hard because I want to win this bet. This is Dave being tight again, trying to be a greenie.
Now, in
Just
situation,
go to the shop and buy a new
all right,
one. A
Rob,
new
in
bloody
a
broom,
situation
Dave.
like this, when
Sorry, man.
Mr. Sink likes to break things, I have to
I didn't
adapt
break
things.
anything. You broke it.
Mr. Sink.
Go to the hardware shop, David. Get a new one.
No, this is another 3 R's situation. So what I've done, I've got to adapt here. We've got a couple sticks here, which are from the garage. So what we can do is unscrew here. Still use the part over here. So what we're going to do, I've got to screw this back on first to make it so it's secure. That's done. Safely put that away. As you can still got my safety vest on, as from before. Now what we can do is, even though that's still sharp and everything, we can still do it without hurting our hands. So we can slot that inside there. See how it slots in beautifully? And all we're going to do is either tape that up, and this is a good temporary measure. It's not ideal, but it can still be done.
Or you can just go to the backyard and get another broom. Like this.
Actually, you know what? Mr. Sink, you're finally right. He has found something else. So we have found something else that he can adapt to. If you've got something similar that can be adapted, you just got to see it's got similar ends. So you can put it back in here, screw that into it. And I hate to say this, I'm cringing about saying he's right, but he's right. Or again, it can be adapted like this one here. Let's see how we go. So Chris, I've always been told that there's like a certain method of how you dig. Like I always get told off, don't use your back and all this stuff. Is there like a method?
Well, it's funny, I've been working in the nursery and shoveling all my life, and I've had to mix up cubic metres of potting mix and all sorts of things.
Yep.
And I tend to, the main thing I use is my stomach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stomach. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
you kind of push with your stomach and you can keep shoveling all day. Whereas if you use your arms or use your back, it wears you out.
Okay, so are we talking like thrusts, or are we talking? No, but so
Yeah,
just all your muscles inside
Yeah, use
there.
your muscles in there, yeah. And that gives you a lot of, like I notice, it gives you a lot of sort of power as you put the shovel in.
Okay. Well, there's a perfect stance, everyone. So like he's remaining solid and firm, but at the same time just using all those muscles inside. Am I right?
Yeah,
in
that's
saying
right,
that?
yeah.
Okay. So there you go, people. Straight from an expert's mouth. And how many years again? 33 years, did you say?
More like 50.
Well, there's another tip for you guys.
Okay, one of my passionate hates is letting grass grow like that. You can see how it's all growing over all over the footpath and along there. So I haven't got the right tools here, but you can just use a shovel like this one here and just trim away. And just by doing that, you'll see what sort of a facelift there will be.
Well, Chris, we listen to you every day on the radio and the TV. Tell us more about yourself. What made you get into plants?
Well, actually, my father looked in the paper he was an accountant, and he looked in the paper one Saturday, desperate to buy a house. He'd been evicted from his flat that he was renting, and he was desperate to buy a house. And he looked in the paper, and there was a little 5-acre flower farm at Mount Dandenong. Was the cheapest house that weekend in the age, and he went and bought it. And what happened was, to help pay the payments, he started cutting the flowers and doing the flowers, and gradually developed a big nursery business, and I was brought up helping him. So I've been helping my dad and learned the trade from my dad.
Wow. And how long has it been going for?
Well, really, I've been working with my father and then working in the nursery business all my life. So 50 odd years.
Wow. There you go.
Okay, where we're at is we've dug the garden bed over, we've added our good soil to it, and now it's just a matter of, I don't really want to flatten the garden bed, I just want to smooth the garden bed out. And the other thing that I want is that you want the, often people complain, we're going to put some pine bark mulch down here when we're finished, and often people complain that the pine bark mulch gets scratched by birds and comes over that front edge. We're going to dig down and drop it down a couple of inches so that at the front it comes over and these rocks will hold the pine bark in nicely. And then the garden itself looks best if it's mounded in the middle. It looks better if it's full than if it's flat. So we're not looking for a flat garden bed, just a smooth garden bed that's nicely rounded with a sort of a drop down at the front to hold the pine bark in.
Yeah.
What sort of plants are these things?
Chris told me this is called a shaggy.
Shaggy? Shaggy!
Position they've got to go in, is that right?
But I need you to evenly space these for me.
Okay, I finished my job. Now you can see that grass was growing all up to here. So I've just trimmed that all away and already it looks $1 million.
As you can see, what Chris has done is evenly spaced out all the plants. Evenly spaced out with all the different sequences, exactly how the plants are going to go in. Smart thinking. So all he has to do is just one by one, just put them all into place. Okay, Chris, can you explain to the viewers now, is there a special technique used to put plants in?
Well, actually, when I was a kid, my dad used to earn about 20 quid a week, and a normal plant was 5 quid. And as a consequence, how that all worked out, I mean, it sounds pretty weird, but how that all worked out, that people only ever used to buy about 1 plant a year. And my parents had talked for months before they'd actually buy a plant. They'd say, oh, can we afford it? Oh, yeah. They'd be saving up 5 quid or something to buy a plant, which is about the same today if you relate it to today's wages. My dad was earning 20 quid a week. They were a bit like buying a colour TV or something. And as a consequence, our local nurseryman, he only used to sell about 1 plant a day, and he was wrapped. And so his plants used to hang around in old tins for years. But today, in our nursery, the plants are lucky to spend a week in the nursery. They get growing, they're ready to go. And so the main thing I want to tell my customers is don't tease the roots. There's more plants killed in Melbourne, back in the old days, the plants were nearly buggered by the time you bought them. But these days, what you've got to do is not tease the roots. You just get the plant, you give it a good drink before you plant it, and you take them out. You'll notice that's what we're doing here today. We just slide them out. The plants are lovely fresh plants, and they go in with no teasing of the roots, and they'll take and they'll do beautiful with no teasing.
Okay, can you show us how it's done?
Yeah, so really what you do is that you dig a hole, you give this a little whack like that, take it out like that, and it just goes in like that. The plant's nice and moist now, it'll go in like that, and it's ready to go, and it's got nice, fresh, healthy young roots here that'll quickly take root, and that's all you need.
Hey. No teasing the roots. Chris, we've gathered quite a few pots and trays and things like this. Now, is it okay to actually reuse these or recycle them, or how do we do them?
All of these pots could be used to grow another 10 plants even. Pots can be used over and over again, and can be used to grow more and more plants. So we will, if customers do a big project like this and bring all the pots back, we just use them again.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. So you don't mind if people got these hanging around to just bring them straight down?
Love it.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
There you go, another recycling tip again. I'm loving this.
Are we going to finish today?
Hey, Rob.
Are we going to finish today?
We should be finished in a couple of hours.
Hey, Rob. You're starting to get a bit worried now?
Please, rain.
It's been raining a little bit. I think we're going to finish today.
Thunder now.
We're all looking forward to seeing you with the tutu on.
Back in the beach, so come down here, and you can go back up here and sort of back up and just make it way backwards and forwards, okay?
Wow, Chris, we've done a great job. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your help.
No worries.
What do you think, guys? Done a
Yeah.
good job?
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Actually, I'm a bit knackered. It's a lot of hard work, but
Absolutely.
yeah, it's all paid off. We've really done a really good job. Thanks,
Yeah.
Chris.
No worries, cool. Okay. Gardening's not that hard, is it?
No, I've never been a huge fan of it, but after seeing what we can achieve out of it, it's. I think I might start doing some at home.
No worries, guys. See you later.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
And we'll see you on another episode.
Cool. No worries. See ya.
Thank you.
So,
So now, there's only one more thing to do, and that is get Tony back home.
actually, there's two things.
One
There's two
thing.
things. someone lost a bet.
You made
No,
that
I
bet.
didn't lose a bet.
You did.
No.
Yes, he did. I've got to agree with you for once, Mr. Singh.
Yes, well, if you remember, Rob said that there was absolutely no way we could finish this in one day.
Did I say that? No.
Yes,
I
you
didn't.
did.
We done this in less than a day. We've done it 6 hours, I think. 6,
Not
7
even.
hours.
Not even.
So
6 hours.
I think the pink tutu's coming out. Welcome home, Tony. What do you think?
Oh, wow. It's absolutely beautiful.
So we've got the
Thank
bath
you.
through
That's
there
just
and the
Gorgeous. The colours are just so
Yep,
good.
these will grow up
Monday
really
grass.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
Monday grass. Yeah.
Yeah,
We also cut your grass.
Oh, lovely. An added bonus.
Yeah, there's a lot of colour here
you.
too.
How
does
the
all this
maple.
look?
Beautiful. Gorgeous, different textures and colours.
That's right.
Absolutely thrilled. It's just beautiful.
Okay.
Really gorgeous. Thank you ever so much, guys. I'm really,
No worries. Thank
really
you.
grateful.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Thanks so much.
Wow, what a day we had, eh?
It was very physical, wasn't it?
Very physical, but you know what? I can't believe that we actually finished it all in less than 6 hours. We planted over 300 plants and finished it in less than 6 hours.
No, it was fantastic. And also, just with Chris, it was so insightful, and it was just great catching up with him as well. And look, I learned a few things as well. And I'm a bit disappointed because now my missus is expecting me to do that sort of work too now. But no, look, it was very
Your
good
missus,
today.
my missus too. But I'll make sure she doesn't watch this episode.
But look, very insightful today, I must admit, Mr. Singh. And we learned a lot, I think.
Which reminds me, Rob, we made a bet.
Yep. And I'm looking forward to this bet too.
Where's Rob?
I don't know, but where is he?
Rob! Rob! Rob, come over! Come on!
Hello. Hello. All right. I lost the bet.
Thank you.
No problem.
Now, you got to do a little dance. Show us a little dance.
Do a little dance.
Make a little love.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh well, hey, you should learn next time. Don't open
Not
your
to
mouth.
make a bet with Mr. Singh.
Exactly.
I get it.
I would have proudly done it myself.
We
But I'm
know
gl-
that.
But I'm glad it was him and not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Singh's got no shame.
Merry Christmas.
Now we finish off, say goodbye with a little dance for everyone.
Welcome to the show. Good night, everybody. See you next time.
Yeah, right,
See you
guys.
next time
Thank you.
And
on the
that-
Mr. Singh show.
And we'll see you next time.
Hello, hello!
Go one more time. One more time.
Should I do it in his voice? Hello, hello! This is Tony.
Hi, Tony. Nice to meet you.
And you?
Okay.
Can we?
I'll give him some help.
3, 2, 1, action.
All right, I couldn't think so. He was talking. Hello. Hello. I can't believe we're doing this. Yeah, hello, hello. Say hello to all the neighbours, would you?
That's just awful. Oh, that's just no good.